distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
What a great day in St. Louis. Man, it's beautiful out there. Just a gorgeous fall morning here in St. Louis. It would be a great day before we get into college football and everything else. Hockey, oh my gosh, are they bad? All the other good stuff. College soccer, what a great day to be on the campus at St. Louis University. The SLU men taking on Dayton today at noon, the A-10 tournament final, and a chance to get into the NCAA tournament as the champion of the Atlantic 10. They've been ranked all year, and congratulations for all the success, but today it is game time, crunch time. It's time. And the Billikens will take on Dayton today at noon. Looking forward to that. That'll be at Herman Stadium on the campus of St. Louis University. I know they're getting that place all ready to go. The fans will pack in. They put thousands of people in there. They can get, about 7,000 in there, I think. 4,000 probably is what they average, but I think they can slam in a lot more than that if you want to get in. Go see the Billikens today against Dayton. That's a great Sunday activity. How about Lindenwood University's men's soccer team? They won the OVC championship last night at Hunter Stadium, another great stadium on the campus in St. Charles. They defeated Houston Christian 4-2 in PKs to advance to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history. Lindenwood University, they are going to the NCAA tournament. They outshot Houston Christian 10-4. Put a lot of pressure on the Huskies in the first 45 minutes of play, and then they were able to capture some success in the second half, and they end up going to PKs, and after 110 minutes of the OVC championship, they make school history, first time in program history, they are going to the tournament. Congrats to Lindenwood. Tom Ackerman with you. Great to be with you. We're here until noon. We've got the full show today. Chiefs don't play until this afternoon with a 2:00 pregame. Chiefs-Broncos, great game. I think the Chiefs are better than they are, so we'll see if I'm right about that. We'll do our NFL picks at 11 o'clock. We'll talk. I had somebody, Dennis, my buddy on Twitter, said you should spend all of 4 seconds on the Blues. No, I'll be a little tougher on them than that. We'll get to that disaster here in just a bit. But first, let's talk some college football because that's fun. Now, I'll mention Mizzou and Illinois first. Both of them have had very good seasons, and I think that they should be commended for that. Missouri is not done yet. They can go to Oklahoma and spoil their whole celebration after they beat Alabama yesterday. That's a great opportunity for Missouri. Missouri's good. Now, Oklahoma can stop the run, but I don't know if you can stop Ahmad Hardy. 25 carries, 300 yards. For Hardy yesterday against Mississippi State in a 49-27 win. Then they go to Arkansas to wrap up the regular season and see which bowl they play in. As for Illinois, they handled Maryland 24-6, and they should be commended for the season that they have had. They came back from a disastrous early game against Indiana, picked themselves up, got themselves going, had a good, strong showing after that, beating USC, who turns out to be a really good team, beating Purdue, losing to Ohio State at home 34-16. And while that was a decisive win for Ohio State, it was actually one of the toughest games Ohio State has had to play. They beat Washington 24-6, and the only closer or as close margin of victory was the 34-16 win at Illinois. Then Illinois turned around and lost to Washington, and that was the killer. 42-25, very disappointing to lose at Washington. But they turn around and they hand Rutgers and Maryland a couple of big defeats. Now they go to Wisconsin and Northwestern. They can win those two and finish the season out, regular season 9-3, and go play in a good bowl. And you know what? They've had a very good program built right now by Brett Bielema. They are going to be a winner. They're kind of trying to make themselves like Illinois, like Iowa and Wisconsin were for a number of years. An 8, 9, 10 win team that could beat you up and be very tough to stop. Luke Altmaier's a great quarterback, and congrats to a good season so far for Illinois. But neither team is in the college football playoff. And the way college football is defined today, I know coaches don't like this, and Eli was talking about this week, that we should it's too bad you're either in or out of the playoffs, and that's how you're defined. Well, unfortunately, that's how it is in college football. It's the way it's been designed, and you are one of the 12 teams or you're not, and neither of those teams are a top 12. Here are the top 12 and how I see this right now. Number one team in the nation is Ohio State, and they should be the number one team when the college football playoff rankings come out. That will happen on Tuesday night. They are number one for a reason, and they have dominated pretty much everybody on their schedule. And yesterday, they handed UCLA a defeat by the count of 48-10. The number two team in the nation is Indiana. Indiana against Wisconsin yesterday. Wisconsin was coming off a victory. They play a slow pace where they like to play good side. They got some great tacklers, great linebackers, good defense. They keep games low scoring, and they like to keep the game manageable and low scoring. And they did that exact thing against Indiana for a while until the Hoosiers did what they do, which is break the will of the opponent and wear them out. And when it was all said and done, the score was 30. Looking dominant again. They've won 15 in a row at home, and that is the longest. Same time, Texas A&M was getting drilled by South Carolina. They were down 30-3 at halftime. But the Aggies, Mike Elko rallies them somehow in the locker room. They come out and they flatten South Carolina. It's a total collapse by Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks. But that said, it's a great win for Texas A&M, much like Indiana rallying to win against Penn State the week before when their game was not at its best. They proved to themselves that when championship things are on the line, they can achieve them. Texas A&M did the same thing yesterday. That's a great win for the Aggies. Oh, my gosh. Might have saved them. It's 31-30 at home over South Carolina. But they should remain at 3, I would think. I wouldn't penalize them, nor would I lift them over Indiana for that. It should be 1, 2, 3 in that order. But the other first-round bye at the moment, and again, a lot of things have to be sorted out here in the college football playoff projections. A lot of games to go. Alabama is in trouble. And I'm going to explain why. They're 8-2. They lost at home to Oklahoma 23-21. It's inexcusable. Look, I know Oklahoma's great. They've got that great defensive front. But, if you want to sit there and tout yourself as one of the best teams in the country, you got to win a game like that at home. And Alabama lost it. You can't make excuses. Oklahoma wins the game flat out, played better, because they were the better team on the field yesterday, period. And that is an indictment of Alabama. Alabama is thought of as a superpower right now by brand. In reality, Alabama is a very good SEC team. They are not the Nick Saban Crimson Tide, nor will they be. They have changed the way they play. They are a pass-first team. They used to be a big physical tough team. They morphed and changed a little bit over the years from passing to running, but defensively not as good and offensively not as powerful as they once were. They lose to Oklahoma. Now, here's where they're going to run into some trouble because Alabama has to win out to make the playoff. Are we all in agreement on that? I think they can't afford a third loss as much as they think they can still get in with a third loss. They play Eastern Illinois on Saturday. Now, it drives me crazy that these SEC teams do this. I mean, Texas A&M, they've got the big, mighty Samford, I do believe, coming up next for them next week. Am I right about that? Yeah, Samford, 1-10. That's like taking a week off because you're going to rest all your players. So Alabama has Eastern Illinois. Big Ten Indiana gets criticized for having a soft early schedule. We're not criticizing these teams for basically playing nobody before they play their big rivals. Are you kidding me? The SEC has been doing this for years. How about play an extra conference game like the Big Ten does? Oh, the SEC will end up doing that. But they play Eastern Illinois, Alabama does. And then next, the Iron Bowl at Auburn. That will be as much pressure as Kalen DeBoer has ever experienced in his career. Auburn is haunted. It is a real pain for Alabama, and it is going to be a very difficult game for them. I don't care what Auburn's record is. They will do anything to beat Alabama in that game. Alabama needed to win that game yesterday against Oklahoma, and they fell flat. The team that's going to leap them is Georgia. Georgia hammers Texas in the fourth quarter, 35-10. Kirby Smart is one of the best coaches in the country. He does an amazing thing here. Georgia scores a touchdown to open the fourth quarter. It was 14-10. The touchdown makes it 21-10. Nobody on the other sideline is expecting this, but Smart says, let's do an onside kick right here. We've got this game. Momentum is on our side. Let's drop the hammer on this team right here. And they do. Onside kick, they recover it. They actually run it, advance it, and then end up scoring another touchdown. It's 28-10, and the route is on 35-10. Texas had nothing after that, and they lose the game 35-10. Georgia's really good. They kind of scare me how good they are right now, and they are going to be a first-round bye, I do believe, if they keep on trucking here. Could be a very interesting SEC championship game, whoever gets in there. You got A&M, you got Bama, you got Georgia. Now you have Texas Tech looming out of the Big 12. They dropped the hammer on UCF 48-9. They're ranked 6th. They should move up a notch too as Alabama falls. Ole Miss barely hangs on. Now Lane Kiffin will tell you all games in the SEC are tough. They were playing Florida, a team that is without a coach and without direction, and almost knocked them off. And then Ole Miss woke up and shut them out in the second half and won 34-24. The team, obviously, to watch is Notre Dame. They looked great yesterday. St. Louis and Jeremiah Love, 23 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Did you see that touchdown run? He looked like a video game where you're hitting the B button or whatever, and he's spinning around all over the place. He is incredible, and Notre Dame looks great. They've won 8 in a row. They're a big brand, so the committee's going to shove them in. I mean, you can forget about BYU. If they lose the Big 12 championship game, there's no chance that BYU would get in over Notre Dame if you're comparing two lost teams. It's not even close. I mean, Notre Dame not only looks better, but they've got the brand that the committee salivates over. The rest of them, Utah is ranked 13th. They drill Baylor. Miami's got a chance for an at-large out of the ACC. They're the highest-ranked ACC team, but they're 4-2 in the league, so they don't really have a chance at getting to the ACC championship. That's really between Georgia Tech and Virginia at this point. Those two teams are 6-1. The ACC is just kind of like by itself. You got the Power 3, then the ACC, and then the others. The ACC is not at the level of the Big 10, SEC, and Big 12. USC is still hanging around. They're 8-2, 6-1 in the Big 10. They beat Iowa 26-21. Georgia Tech had to sneak by a 1-10 Boston College team, 36-34, and Virginia beat Duke 34-17. Duke is now 5-5, but as of yesterday, they had a path to the ACC championship. That's what I'm talking about. The ACC is just sort of like in its own world. It's very weird. Then you have a group of 5 team that can get into the bracket, and it's anybody's guess who the heck that's going to be. So it's the top 12. I'll be fascinated to see how they do that here coming up in the ESPN announcement on Tuesday night. But a little bit of an idea as to where we are right now. There are a lot of players still involved in this thing. It's mostly SEC, Big 10, Big 12 could have some, and the ACC has to have one, and the group of 5 has to have one. But it is college football is alive and well, isn't it? Man, it's fun. When we come back, we'll talk about something that isn't fun. The Blues are terrible. They are just a bad hockey team. I don't know how else to put it, but we will do our best when we come back. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stifel Sports Studio. Josh Schertz and the Billikens coming up at 10:30. And a lot more coming, including Chaim Bloom at 11:30, the Cardinals president of baseball operations. You're listening to Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX.
Have you set your appointment up yet to have your furnace checked to make sure you are good and ready to go for this winter? It's really, really a great idea to have it done for your own peace of mind and for your safety also. Definitely check your furnace before you use it. You can go to my website. It's bartinman.com, and we'll have pictures up of what we've seen and what we've seen and found that the homeowners had no clue that this danger existed. Most have no idea what I'm talking about now, but if you went to the website, if you're not going to have me come out or another company come out and check, then you'll know what to look for on your furnace and hot water heater also. So my number, again, it's Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest number, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com, Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, Dr. Rohina Pani.
One thing that's important to remember is if you're concerned and you identify some family history, which typically means first-degree relatives and other risk factors for this disease, talk to your doctor about your family history, and they can then refer you to centers that specialize in those screening programs like Siteman Cancer Center.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. The wait is over, and we are now selling at the Reserve at Wildwood. The early bird gets the worm, so call today and pick the home of your dreams at the coveted Wildwood Town Center, located at Highway 100 and 109. You will love the design of the Reserve with its extensive trails and wooded common ground. In a park-like setting, select from our popular Liberty or luxurious designer series homes from the 560s. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You discover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
This year, we're celebrating a century of St. Louis radio history. 100 years of KMOX. Hi, I'm Randy Carricker, and I've got so many great memories from my time behind the mic, and now we want to hear yours. Open the Audacy app, find KMOX, and tap the voice message feature to share your favorite KMOX moments. Join us as we celebrate 100 years of the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
We are going to talk to Josh Schertz, the head coach of the Billikens, coming up at 10:30, so that's just minutes away. The Billikens are the show in town right now. I had somebody ask me, one of my good buddies asked me on a text thread, who in town can give us some success and not fail early in the season? The Cardinals? Nope. The Blues? Nope. City? Nope. All fail. All of them. Can't deny it. They've all failed to get the crowds and everybody excited about their season. Oh, wait a minute. There's one. The St. Louis Billikens. They look great. We'll talk to Josh Schertz about it. 4-0 start coming up here on KMOX. But the St. Louis Blues, I mean, this is ridiculous. Stat. 18 minutes and 36. This is all you need to know. You can talk about Friday night blowing 2-goal leads, losing to the Flyers 6-5 in a shootout. All you need to know is this right here. The Blues last night against the Vegas Golden Knights, from a period of time from the first period into the second period, for a span of 18 minutes and 36 seconds, did not have a shot on goal. That is almost the equivalent of a period of play. In that 18 minutes and 36 seconds, Vegas had 15 shots on goal and scored 3 goals. And to make matters worse, one of them was scored by a player that the Blues basically said goodbye to, in Brandon Saad. Saad scored one of them. Vegas won the game 4-1. What an absolute mess this team is. It's just not a good hockey team. Good hockey teams don't do that, ever. And don't act like they're just sort of like going through the motions. Do they not get paid to entertain the fans who come in and pack the place? Do they not play at the highest level of hockey in the NHL? I mean, how much more can we ask of a team as people who watch them? Let's just go to it. This is Justin. Listen to this. This is Blues defenseman Justin Falk.
Justin, what do you feel like that got away from you guys tonight?
Later than we wanted to, probably started the second, and they came out got an early goal. Life on the bench and within the group, definitely. To be honest, there wasn't a ton, and it kind of got drained after that, and ultimately kind of played the rest of the game on autopilot, it seems.
Okay, stop right there. That's all I need. Autopilot, he said. Autopilot. This is head coach Jim Montgomery, if you can advance to that. No life on the bench and autopilot. NHL game, right, Drew? I'm not mistaken. This was a game that counted, right? This wasn't an exhibition game, right? This was an actual NHL game that counted in the standings. What are we, like a quarter of a way through the season? Here's Coach Jim Montgomery.
I don't agree with that. I think we got flat, and that's where, we need to have more from our group. There needs to be a better response. I don't like the start of our second period, but that's been most of the season. But I did think that at around the 10-minute mark, we started to play better hockey. We were more connected. We were more physical. The penalty kill was good we killed that off. And then we got flat again. It's, we need to be better.
All right, that's it. That's all I need. What's the difference between autopilot and flat? Nothing. So you don't disagree with what Justin Falk said. He said they're on autopilot. He says they're flat. It's the same thing. I'm not going to blame the coach here for this, if that's what you're looking for. This is on the players. It's on Doug Armstrong. It's on Jim Montgomery. It's on the players. It's on ownership. It's always on everybody. But this is mostly on the players here. Wake up. You're getting paid a lot of money to play a game that you've been playing your whole life. And unless there's some mass run of injuries that I'm not aware of, to be on autopilot and flat in an NHL game in front of fans who are plunking down a lot of money and a team that was expected to make a run in the playoffs is inexcusable. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We're going to actually talk about a team that is worth the money on the floor at Chaffetz Arena. It's the St. Louis Billikens. They are legit, folks. I'm here to tell you. Also, they're drawing quite the celebrity factor to their crowd. Back in a moment on KMOX.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
Today was October 7th, 1944.
There when St. Louis celebrated.
The only streetcar World Series in St. Louis. It was the Cardinals against the Browns. And Stan the Man went deep.
Man on first, 1 out. Top of the first inning. Stan Musial, another left-handed hitter. The slugger of the Cards stands in there. Pitch to him, swung on, a long ball hit deep to right field. It's going far out into right field. It's landing on the roof for a home run.
That was Stan's only home run of that series. The Cardinals beat the Browns in 6 games.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original. KMOX Weekend at Your Service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. Thanks to supporters like you, children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach incredible milestones. Please donate today at treeofhope.org.
Save big money when you insulate your home with Knauf fiberglass insulation from Menards. From cut-to-length rolls to pre-cut bats and blown-in insulation, Menards has everything you need to add comfort and energy savings to your home. Plus, you can save even more with federal tax credits on qualifying energy-efficient upgrades ending soon. Check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Discover how you can make forgettable memories with a home equity line of credit from Royal Banks of Missouri. Whether you're dreaming of a winter family getaway, planning your next home renovation project, or considering an investment in your education goals, a home equity line of credit is a flexible and convenient option to fund life's most memorable moments on your schedule. Our local bankers are here to help you achieve your short and long-term financial goals. Call 314-212-1500. That's 314-212-1500. Visit us online at royalbanksofmo.com or stop by a Royal Banks location near you. For more details on how you can tap into your home's equity and get the most out of its current value. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Weak side rebound, McCautry above the rim, ahead to Sharma on the drive, the lob, one-hand jam time. Oh, baby. Otieno hits the dead board as he was bounced in there. It was a lob and a one-hand jam. He caught it up at the top of the square, Earl.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
3:28 remaining, 78-53. This is Billiken basketball from Learfield.
That is Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. with the call. Billikens were up by 25 at that point. They win at 78-64 over Grand Canyon, a good team that had been to the tournament 4 out of the last 5 years. We're joined by Josh Schertz. Our visits with him are sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. How about that? And the defensive effort. We'll get into all of that on KMOX. Was a fun night, Josh Schertz.
Yeah, no, it was a really good night. A great crowd. I thought our student section was awesome and loud, brought great energy. We got, I think it was 6,000 plus in there. Obviously, hopefully, the ones that came will come back, and we'll continue to build up that. But good team performance, good team win. Obviously, would have liked to finish the game a little better, but that stretch in the second half from up 2 to up 27, I think we outscored them 35-10. Over a 12-minute window was certainly eye-opening and I think insight into kind of who we can be as a team.
Yeah, that was really something. You're right. I mean, it happens in a hurry. By the way, Otieno, that last dunk, he came down, it looked like on his ankle. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, he's getting looked at today. I think he's okay. Just came down and landed. I think the guy had fallen, and he landed on a prone player from Grand Canyon. So when he came down to dunk, there was a guy laying under the basket, and he landed on him. And so don't think it's anything too serious, we hope. But I'll know more today. He and Kellen will get checked out, and we'll see kind of where they are as we're heading into 4 days of practice here before we play again on Friday.
Yeah, Kellen got smoked on a screen right in front of us at midcourt by Breidenbach. That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was a tough one, and it was a physical, clean play. It was one of those, Kellen's pressure the ball. I think, I don't know if I can't really tell. I mean, Rob was pretty far off. I don't know if Kellen didn't hear Robbie calling under, the screen. Regardless, we didn't hear it. We got cracked, and that was tough because I thought Kellen really he had a poor first half for him, but his second half he was off to a great start. I mean, he was I think had 2 or 3 steals right away. He was so active, and we certainly missed him. Those last 10, 11 minutes of the game that he went down. So we're hoping he's fine. He'll get evaluated today as well. I'm sure they'll go through variety of things, that they do when you have something like that, concussion, etc. And we'll hope he's okay and ready to go tomorrow as well.
Billikens get the win 78-64 over Grand Canyon, and I didn't know how far they were going to go with the fouls early. I mean, it was like 6-0 on the fouls. And oh my goodness, 8-0. Yeah. Like, what is going on here? And then the crowd, of course, I was just waiting for it. I actually said it on TV. I said, listen to the crowd when they called that first foul, and they were all over it. They were having some fun with it, but after that, your team played as good defense as I can remember. I mean, it was just remarkable what you did to lock up a good Grand Canyon team.
Yeah, no, I thought we really dialed in, what we did discipline-wise, our game plan, the focus, the physicality, was across the board. I mean, how we got a ball thing, we did a great job in transition of building walls, getting back. What our success was great. They're terrific in transition. They're terrific on the offensive side. They're an awesome ball screen team, and I thought those areas, our discipline, attention to detail, physicality, multiple efforts, all things were terrific. A lot of times, I'm like, people get into an offensive mission in itself. But, if you're a bad defensive team, you're never going to be a good offensive team. You're always getting the ball in the net. So it doesn't, to be a great offensive team, you have to be, to me, a really elite defensive team. That's always been, what we like that team in 23-24 that led the, Division I in offensive efficiency. In Indiana State, we were number 1 in the Valley in defense too. And the year before we were number 2, and last year in the A-10 we were number 4 in defense efficiency. So that's the hallmark of everything, is being able to guard and finish plays, and that gets us out in transition. The ability to force tough shots, force turnovers, that allows us to get out and create the pace we want. Everything starts with
this Dion Brown rebounding is just crazy. I mean, I can't believe how good of a rebounder he is. Obviously, you saw it. That's why you brought him here. But the Boston College transfer has 15 boards. I mean, he's grabbing rebounds from 7-footers at the peak of his jump. I mean, what the heck? Wow.
Yeah, there's just certain guys that have a nose for the ball. They just have, those guys in football that always come up with the fumble at the bottom. Pull it out. Dion Brown, he just has a knack for it, a nose for it. He finds ways to come up with those plays, and that rebound in the second half was super impressive. I mean, a crowd of people, like you said, 7-footer in there, and he just rise above everybody to go high point that rebound, that gets 15 rebounds, and then what he does defensively. The ability. Pressure he brings, the ability to guard multiple positions. He's a two-way guy, he's a terrific rebounder. He's got unbelievable energy, an alpha in terms of how he is looking at what he's not. He's terrific. Guys who were always get a bunch, but he only had 6. But I don't know that there was. He'd be hard pressed. There was a more impactful player last night in terms of putting his fingerprints on winning with Dion Brown for the Billikens.
I was looking at numbers last year for Amari, and he shot 53%. For a freshman, that was one of the best performances by a SLU freshman in history. Well, I can see partly why he shoots such a high percentage. That guy gets to the rim. I mean, and he can finish at the rim. He is, I don't want to pump him up too much. I don't know if you do, but he's as good of a finisher as there is right now in your league.
Yeah, I think, in his 28 years, he was good around the rim. I've coached. I mean, he's got it with both hands. He can finish with his right hand, finish with his left hand. He angles. He's a really hard cover because, like last night, they're putting their bigs on him and trying to back up. And had some success with his bigs on. He took a couple of threes that he probably, didn't love, not off the game, especially went 0 for 4. But, the trade-off of that was, he was 8 for 9 on twos and got downhill at will, being guarded by their 4s and 5s. And he's such a confrontational driver. He's such a good finisher. If you put a small guy on him, he overpowers him. If you put a bigger guy on him, he goes by him. He's 6'6" with a 7'1" wingspan. He can extension finish with either hand. He's got great touch, great ability to find the angles, the geometry of the game. He just, is able to find a way to get the ball to the backboard, have the right spin. And, that's kind of an ace. So, we work on finishing a lot because we hope to be at the rim a lot. But I would love to take credit for that and certainly pass it on to Phil and AP and those guys. But a lot of that's just, inside and his ability around the rim is second to none. And, we're seeing him kind of take this major step in year 2. And that's, what you hope systematically for guys is that they, he gets more comfortable, understands, where he can be aggressive, how to attack. And, he's night and day from where he was 12 months from now. And the scary part for me is, with him, I think he's just starting now to kind of like scratch that surface. I was talking with him about, the chasm between how good he is and what he's capable of. And I said it in the preseason, like when he's turned up ready to play, I think he's not only our best player, I think he's maybe the best player in the league. So, I stand by that.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, it really is a fun team. I mean, you got all these guys that can go downhill, and then just the preseason Naismith watch list, Robbie Avila just hanging out back there bombing threes. If you collapse, it's remarkable to watch. Now, I do think there was, and you alluded to this in the beginning of our conversation, there was a moment or two that you didn't like, and certainly I could see it coming too. Around the 6.5 minute mark, in Chicago State, I think it was around the 7.5 minute mark, this team was not playing to your liking, and Troy and I both saw you stand in the middle of the floor, making sure they all walked right by you going into that timeout, and then you let them have it. There, I'm an Indiana football fan, and I love Curt Cignetti, and one thing he always says is, regardless of score, first play to the last play. And I think that's the philosophy that you have here with this team.
Absolutely. I talk a lot with our guys. Our goal is every game to compete together. I think those are controllable things, how hard you play, your effort, your physicality, and you can control doing it together. You can't control the ball going in or the opponent's ball going in or all kinds of variables in the game, but those are two controllable things. The other thing we talk about is competing present, being present inside the competition, stacking the possession in front of you. The team that wins is the team that stacks the most possessions. You're going to play last night with 150 or so, and other nights 150 to 160 possessions. And so it takes a lot of mental toughness and it takes a lot of maturity to not let the scoreboard dictate your effort level. The circumstances dictate your effort level, but the really elite teams, the really elite programs, there's a standard of play, and that standard of play doesn't change if you're up by 30 or you're down by 30 or you're playing every possession like it's the last possession. You're valuing that possession, you're stacking that possession. That's what we talk about, our guys. Stack possession, stack days. It's all about building consistent high-level performance. You're building your habits, whether you're up 30 or whatever the case is, and we want to make sure we're building great habits. And so, there's areas that, I felt, some that was on me, and then we just got to play better. I've got to get, Jack and Cam comfortable. They're 10-11 right now. But, there's going to be things that happen like in the season where we're not going to have all our players available. And we're going to need those guys to play minutes and help us win games. If stuff's going to likely happen. I hope it doesn't. I hope we go the whole season with no injuries or illness. But those 28 years, never happened previous 27. So I need to get those guys ready to help us win games at some point. It's a hard scenario for them. But, and I know they're just doing that and all that. But we got to play to a certain standard. That standard has to be for the entire 40 minutes, possession 1 through possession 160. And we have had some where the scoreboard's gotten, in our favor, up 36 against Chicago State, up 27 last night. hey, we maybe take our foot off the gas. We got a little cute. We had 3 straight turnovers and 3 straight possessions with fouls, and went from 27 to 21, 20 or whatever. And then next thing you know, we labored a little bit down the stretch.
I've always said I think basketball is made for celebrities. It's a great game to attend, and they love to go. Jack Nicholson made it famous at Laker games and at Knick games, Spike Lee. Well, last night, I'm sitting there, and you got Anthony Bonner. You got Jordair Jett asking people if they're going to Humphreys. You got Brian Jordan and Bernard Gilkey, former Cardinals. I had a chance to visit with them. Timo Baumgartel was at the game, the St. Louis City player. And lo and behold, I had a chance to catch up briefly. Former Missouri Tigers, Sophie Cunningham in the house. I mean, there was a big-time celebrity factor at the game last night.
Disappointed to learn that Sophie wasn't there to watch me coach. I was told afterwards I was not her. I was a bit disappointed. No, it was a lot of great. I mean, yeah, like you said, so many, former Billikens, great Billikens in the house. Got to spend some time with those guys. And, I said it with Hammer, trying to write our own chapter in St. Louis basketball history and the book that is St. Louis basketball. It's year 100 and whatever, chapter 100, whatever. But man, do we have incredible respect for the players and coaches and teams that have built this thing. We get to walk on the foundation that they laid. And so when those guys come back and they're supportive and they're proud of how we compete, like that means the world, not just to me, but to our players and staff. And seeing some of the people, like you said, some of the celebrities come out, we want to make, Billikens games, a place to be. We want to make it where, hey, that's must-see entertainment. We're going to, they talk about, you have to earn a home court advantage, and you earn it by, two teams. Win first and foremost. When we're trying to do both of those levels, and I think hopefully, people will respond to that. Continue to get better. I say, once you come along, the team play hard enough to get this entertaining style. They play incredibly hard. They play for each other. I think it represents, we want, what St. Louis itself is about as a city. And so my hope is that that'll just continue to grow and grow. And that 1,000 from last night, is 8. And hopefully, we're still in shape. That becomes the norm. Back to the Bills. And when it is, it's been one great where it was. And it was an incredible.
That was a game where I took my daughter last year, sat in the seats, and I couldn't have been prouder to sit with the fans and watch that place rock. That was really something. Have fun at Herman Stadium today. Swing Dayton, A10 championship. It's a good time to be a Billiken. We appreciate it, Coach.
I appreciate it. Out there. I hope everybody comes out to the guys trying to have another championship and get everything. It's going to be an awesome day. I'll be there during the Billiken down. See you soon.
Thank you. Good to see you. Been talking to you last night and today. It is the Billikens. They're fun. They get to win 78-64 over Grand Canyon. We'll come back, talk about the MusialAwards with Marc Schreiber right after this.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Suffering Care. From bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy. The truth is, their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com, ruffgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's ruffgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Greens. You make any dog food better.
Get ready for laughs that make you think.
If you want to make a mythical creature,
Comedian, writer, and master of clever one-liners, Dimitri Martin is coming to the factory November 20th.
just take a regular animal and add wings to it.
And we've got your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the show.
Horse becomes Ferguson. A lion becomes a griffin. And a hawk becomes...
Register now through November 16th at KMOX.com for your chance to win.
Double hawk.
KMOX.com. contests.
Love to hear from my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. Doctor's Doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Get ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to homers to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Plus, with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game has started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sports app. Must be 21 and over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
This is Mike Graham, former host of the KMOX Sports Open Line. Congratulations to America's greatest radio station, 100 years strong as the voice of St. Louis.
Rimmer. Always great to hear him. You know who's turning 20? The MusialAwards, and that's coming up next Saturday at Stiefel Theater. Coming up, it is a great opportunity for you also to see the U.S. Figure Skating Championships at Enterprise Center in January and tie both of those together as the president of the St. Louis Sports Commission, Marc Schreiber. Good morning, Marc.
Hello, Tom. How you doing? It's great to hear Grim's voice. That was a nice little hit there.
How about that? A big 100th coming up Thursday celebration. We're going to have a lot of voices on the show. I wanted to tie these two together because, first of all, the MusialAwards, which celebrate sportsmanship and have for 20 years, your featured guest and honoree that evening will be none other than Kristi Yamaguchi.
Exactly. And there is a nice tie-in between both events. Right? So every year with our Lifetime Achievement Award with the MusialAwards, we sort of go sport by sport, and you try to look at it. Who's at the top of the list that embodies those values that Stan the Man exemplified? And, when you get to figure skating, Kristi Yamaguchi's right up there, just a model of class and grace and humility, and probably just one of the nicest people you're going to come across. So we're thrilled that she's coming in for the event and that we get to honor her with our highest award for sportsmanship.
This is a show that is on CBS in December, so you want the place to be packed. And I think some people would assume that it's sold out. That is not the case. How do you get tickets for the MusialAwards?
We always go through that every year. People think it's still we actually have some great seats remaining in the orchestra. So if you just simply go to MusialAwards.com and click on tickets, you'll be able to be linked to being able to secure seats for the night. And I can tell you it's going to be something. It's like going to a Broadway show. You're just going to come out feeling good and inspired, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. It's like our town hall for St. Louis, all around celebrating sportsmanship, which is a defining thing of this community.
It is going to be a great night. And then I also think it's important that people understand what the U.S. Figure Skating Championships are going to be like at Enterprise Center coming up in January. This is a huge event, internationally known. And, going back to Tiger Woods playing at the PGA or Simone Biles at the Dome, this is a monster event, which gets ready for the Winter Olympics.
Exactly. We're going to be in the national spotlight for a week in January. It's the month before the Olympics. The U.S. Olympic team will be decided right here in St. Louis. And U.S. figure skating at a level where we just have some huge superstars coming in for the event that you're not going to want to miss. And this is as close as we're going to get to the Winter Olympics. So another event that's got tickets remaining. And we certainly hope that St. Louis shows up in force for this event. And again, it just connects so well to our Olympic legacy. And it's going to be an exciting moment for our community.
You can get all the information for that one at skatestlouis2026.com, MusialAwards.com for the St. Louis Sports Commission's Musial Awards, which is such a great event. It's going to be an awesome few months here moving forward in St. Louis. And Mark, we appreciate all that you do. We'll continue to direct people that way and make sure that they get part of the action, including this Saturday at the Musial Awards. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Our pleasure. We'll be back with much more coming up on KMOX.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare Plan. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. Never in a million years would have to use life insurance if the unexpected happens. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Maplewood. Always live on the free Audacy app. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, presents 100 years of KMOX.
KMOX has just learned that there's been a shooting at the Kirkwood City Council meeting tonight.
There, when headlines hit home.
And our own Michael Calhoun from the KMOX newsroom is in Kirkwood. Michael, what's going on?
That was started with an African-American man who walked in and started firing in the middle of the city council meeting.
First gunshots rang out about 7 in the evening at the Kirkwood Police Department, directed at an officer.
Leaving the building, he was outside the basement parking lot when he was approached by a suspect who shot him and killed him.
Yeah, we just got word from our people at that command center, and 7 people were shot tonight.
Kirkwood is a community of friends, neighbors. This is a tragedy of untold magnitude.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartache. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
President Trump's ready to expand military actions in Venezuela. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll told Face the Nation,
"We have a lot of training in that part of the world. We're reactivating our jungle school in Panama. We would be ready to act on whatever the president said we're needed."
Federal officials have started a surge of immigration sweeps in Charlotte, North Carolina. Residents are fearful and outraged.
It's terrifying to pretty much know at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
Southern California got pummeled by a month's worth of rain in just a few days, causing widespread flooding and mudslides. CBS News Los Angeles reporter Zach Boetto.
San Bernardino County workers in excavators out and about, scooping up debris that came down through Prospect Creek and piled up on Prospect Drive. They moved and created berms like bumpers to allow the water to flow down the mountain within the sides of the creek bed.
Acting Attorney General Alina Hobb is one of the latest victims of political violence. Miklasz is with CBS News, New York.
Federal law enforcement sources say Chief Michael Lisa showed up with a baseball bat at the offices where Haba works and was denied entry to the building Wednesday. Investigators say he did enter the building later that day without the bat when he was denied a meeting with Haba and started smashing things in the waiting area before he took off. Police haven't disclosed Lisa's motive.
And don't believe everything you see on TikTok. A new study in JAMA found a majority of social media posts by influencers about drugs use language like life-changing or revolutionary, but they didn't disclose that they were sponsored. They didn't mention any possible risks of taking the drugs. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, lots of sun, 53 downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning, I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, the Highway Patrol wants your help in tracking down an SUV involved in a fatal hit and run. It happened this morning in Burns Mill, at the intersection of Highway 30 and Burns Mill Road, Upper Burns Mill. Authorities believe it took place between 5 and 7 a.m. They're searching for a blue Chevy Avalanche, Tahoe, or Suburban with damage to the front right. The identity of the pedestrian has not been disclosed. A Missouri teen who went missing earlier this month has been found dead, and 3 men are now charged in her death. 18-year-old Kanaya Jennings of Portageville was found Friday in a rural area. Yesterday, Pemiscot County authorities announced charges against 34-year-old Keenan Peoples, 38-year-old Donald Peoples Jr., and 18-year-old Blake Patrick. Those counts include murder, kidnapping, and rape. Jennings was last seen the night of November 3rd. The Highway Patrol has not released details regarding her disappearance or death. Half a year ago, a tornado touched down in St. Louis. The road to recovery remains long. These are some very desperate times.
That's Urban League Vice President James Clark. He tells KMOX they're continuing to provide housing for those whose homes are gone or unlivable.
Over 700 families since the tornado in local hotels. We are now transitioning many of them back into stable housing.
He says they will soon be announcing a new program to continue helping to support those with long-term needs. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The U.S. has manufactured the last penny. Could it signal the beginning of the end of the entire cash system? Jackson Hadaway with the Missouri Bankers Association says there's no appetite for that.
That includes all forms of cash beyond the penny, whether that's the dime or the nickel, or the 5 or the 10 or the 20 or the 50 or the 100.
He says the bigger problem with no prolonged phase out of the penny, businesses and banks have been scrambling to stockpile them. Now your weather forecast.
This afternoon shaping up to be a much cooler one with sunshine, a high of 58, clear and chilly low 37 tonight, and some sunshine, a shower late tomorrow, high 61. Showers tomorrow night, Tuesday a shower to start, then sunshine warming to 72. From the Stlika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Decker on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's 53 in St. Peters, 52 in Florissant, 53 downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Great Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Good visit last hour with Josh Schertz. I think that Billiken team is the real deal. They're 4-0. Next game will be Friday against IPFW, Purdue Fort Wayne. They can ball up there. It should be nice, though, to see what they can do just to close out the home early portion of the schedule. Then they play that Thanksgiving night game against Santa Clara, a huge game for them, to get them on the right track. Wouldn't it be nice if you could run the table? Oh, my gosh, in the non-conference before the A-10? That is ideal if you're the Billikens. I think they're going to start getting some votes if they do that in the AP Top 25. I don't know if they crack the 25. But if they start making some noise in the A-10, they're going to get a lot of attention. I think this team is good. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, and they need to stay healthy. But they are deep, and they are a fun group. We also chatted with Marc Schreiber, MusialAwards.com. And also, you can visit online to learn about the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. I think that's a way bigger deal than people realize. SkateSt.Louis2026.com. Once we get close to that, you're going to wish you were there. I assure you that. That is something that figure skating gets more attention in the Winter Olympics than anything else. And so St. Louis will have the world watching the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Coming up, Chaim Bloom, the Cardinals president of baseball operations. Kurt is tuning in from New York City because he's fired up about Chaim. I think a lot of Cardinals fans are interested to hear what Chaim has to say on a weekly basis, and we will be doing that with him at 11:30, and Bernie Miklasz, of course, will give him plenty of time at 11:45 to close out the show. But first, as we always do on these shows at 11:07, it's time for NFL picks. And let's get to it. First, I have to tell you that we were 5-7. I was 5-7. Drew isn't part of this. I was 5-7 last week, so I take full responsibility for being under 500. A 5-7 record is not good enough. I absolutely strive to make your Sundays better. And so I want winning records. I'm about 500 for the season. I've had some really good seasons. I've had some okay seasons. This would be an okay season. So far, it's week 11. There's a lot more to go. We go against the spread, remember. We're not picking straight up winners here. There's a game underway right now, 4:57 to go. The Dolphins and the Commanders. Doesn't sound like a great game, but they're playing in Madrid, so the fans in Spain are having a ball. And the Dolphins did beat the Bills last week, surprisingly. That was one of my L's I had to take. All right, here we go with the noon games today. You got Carolina at Atlanta. And the Panthers are 5-5 on the season, surprisingly better than the Falcons. I think a lot of people liked Atlanta. In fact, Vegas likes them now. They're a 4-point favorite at home against Carolina. Give me the Panthers. I don't care. Give me the Panthers, even though they lost to the Saints. I'm going Panthers bounce back, +4 at Atlanta. Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Oh, man, this is going to be a good one. Tampa Bay is a really good team, but I'll say it again. I said it last time that Buffalo took a loss, and then they had Carolina waiting for them. Be careful here, Tampa Bay. You could be in for a beating this afternoon. The last time Buffalo took an embarrassing loss, they lost at Atlanta 24-14. They had to stew for an extra week because they had a bye, and then they destroyed Carolina 40-9 on the road, came home and beat the Chiefs as well. Buffalo still is not a team to be messed with, and I've got them -6.5 today against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Houston at Tennessee. C.J. Stroud is injured, so they're going with a backup quarterback today. I'm not sure it matters at Tennessee. The Titans are awful. They're 1-8. Spread's 5.5. Give me Texans -5.5. The Chicago Bears are tied for the lead in the NFC North. Wow. At the Vikings, apparently nobody cares because the Vikings are a 3-point favorite against the Bears. I got Bears all day on this. Bears +3. I think they're on a roll here, and I think they're going to win this game at Minnesota today. and go to 7-3. Green Bay at the Giants. Giants fired their coach Brian Daboll. We'll see if that means anything to them. They're a 7.5-point dog at home against the Packers, who just took a loss at home to the Philadelphia Eagles. This may surprise you, Drew, but I'm going to go Giants here plus 7.5. That half point is bothersome to me, to the point where I can't take the Packers on the road 7.5 based on how they move the football. I don't like their offense. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Two really poor teams here. I don't think the Steelers are that good. I liked them last week, granted, and they really disappointed me. I think their defense will hold the Bengals down here. It's a 5.5-point spread. I don't love that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Steelers minus 5.5 at home against the Bengals. They'll beat them by a touchdown, probably. Have an ugly game. Chargers at Jacksonville. Now, the Chargers are a little banged up here. Still chasing, though, the AFC West title because they have a chance to make some noise here. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos, that would be very helpful to them. The Broncos currently lead that division. The AFC has Denver at 8-2, Chargers 7-3, Kansas City 5-4, and I think the Chargers are better than both of them. But the records are what they are. Chargers have won 3 in a row. I think they keep it going today at Jacksonville, and they sneak one out on the road. The spread is 2.5. I will give the Jaguars 2.5. Chargers minus 2.5 on the road. These are the afternoon games. Seattle at the Rams is a great contest in the NFC West. Both teams are 7-2. Rams 3.5-point favorites. I think America has been doubting the Seahawks all year, and I think this is the game where they rise up and show why they might be the best team in the NFC going right now. They will improve to 8-2, and I'm going to take them plus 3.5 at the Rams. San Francisco at Arizona. Brock Purdy is back for the Niners. That's good enough for me, even though he might be a little shaky with that toe injury. I like them big over the Cardinals today. I'll take the 49ers minus 3.5, even though Arizona's pass defense is not bad. Baltimore at Cleveland. The Ravens 7.5-point favorites on the road. Okay. That's a lot, man. I'll do it. Ravens minus 7.5 at Cleveland. Cleveland's back. And the Ravens are starting to get a little traction here with Lamar Jackson being back. They have to continue to win. They can't slip up, and I think they'll figure out a way to win pretty decisively at Cleveland. I'll go Ravens minus 7.5. Why did I doubt myself? Kansas City at Denver. So here we go. This is the game of the day. It's on KMOX. The 8-2 Denver Broncos have won 7 games in a row, yet they are 4-point underdogs in their own stadium today against the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's because of what I just said. The Chiefs are the better team. And today they will have to prove that if they want to continue to be a player in this AFC race. Now, their schedule softens up a little bit, so they will have more opportunities to do it. But I think they do it today. I think the Chiefs minus 4 is a good play at Denver. We'll find out if Denver's a contender or a pretender. Some people think they're a fraud. I don't know if I'd go that far. Detroit at Philadelphia. I really like the Eagles tonight. The Eagles minus 2.5 against the Lions, I think, is good. I like the Lions a lot, but the Eagles showed me something going on the road and putting the foot down on Green Bay. Dallas at Vegas. On Monday night, Joe Buck with the call on ESPN. Cowboys are 3-5-1 on the season. Vegas is 2-7. Vegas is a dog here, 3.5 points. I might surprise you here. I'm going to go Cowboys. I think they'll have a lot of fans in the seats. I think they'll have some emotion going where they have to get one here. Monday Night Football. I'm going to go Cowboys minus 3.5 on the road at the Raiders. Those are our NFL picks. We'll talk some golf with my buddy Tom O'Toole. Coming up next on KMOX.
At Graybar, we know your time is money. That's why our services go beyond parts and products. With kitting, pre-assembly, wire carts, and Graybar smart reels that keep you moving. We stage materials and manage logistics so you can spend less time sorting and more time installing. And with locations nationwide, we deliver when and where you need it, working to make your job easier every step of the way. Yep, Graybar does that.
Hi, I'm Amy Mark Scores. The Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle campaign supports our most marginalized neighbors here in St. Louis. And the sound of bells will soon be in the air. And they're kicking off their Christmas season Saturday, November 22nd, starting with the downtown Thanksgiving parade and culminating with the 78-year-old tradition of lighting the tree in Keener Plaza. Enjoy performances from Blessing Author and the Salvation Army Brass Band. Kick off the season of giving. Visit stlsalvationarmy.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Brennans love celebrating the holidays at home. And there's never been a better time to move up to McKelvey with our Home for the Holiday sale. Save big with savings of $25,000 plus up to $10,000 cash at closing on every move-in ready home. And on select homes, special financing starting at 4.75%. We have a wide variety of homes with all the most popular features selected by our experienced design team. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
i3 Broadband, where in the spirit of the season, you can feast on 100% fiber internet. Whether you're shopping, streaming, gaming, or gathering, you need reliable and fast internet, and that's the good stuff you can stuff yourself on when you have i3. They always mirror upload and download speeds. They have a price lock guarantee, and you get unbeatable value, support, and service. Call today, 877-976-0711. They have plans for any budget, and you're likely to pay less money for better service compared with whoever currently provides your internet. That's i3 Broadband, i3broadband.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. The Brennans love celebrating the holidays at home. There has never been a better time to move up to McKelvey with our Home for the Holidays sale. This is your last chance to save big at the Preserve in Afton with savings of $25,000 plus $10,000 cash at closing and special financing on all of the 4 remaining homes, including our luxurious Turnberry display. The Preserve is truly special with lakes, trails, and an abundance of wood and common ground. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Great to be back with you. Chaim Bloom, Cardinals president of baseball operations, joining us at 11:30. Right now, we get to spend a little time with one of my favorite people. He is the past president of the USGA, and he is the founder of the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association and leading a redevelopment effort at Normandy Golf Club. Joining us is Tom O'Toole Jr. Tom, it's great to have you back on KMOX.
Always good to be on KMOX with you, Tom Ackerman. Thanks for connecting.
It's good to be with you. Well, what are you up to in North County? I mean, this is really something that has been talked about for a while, and the latest development is that your lead donor is none other than Emerson. Talk about a global leader headquartered right here in St. Louis. They announced a $7 million commitment to the Normandy Reimagined project. That, Tom O'Toole, is going to get people's attention.
I hope so. Certainly a donation of that, contribution of that magnitude is a game changer. I've said this a couple times in the last week. Every project, every initiative, every journey, if you're successful, has a pivotal and monumental moment. Ours was on Wednesday with the Emerson announcement, and it is a game changer for this project and for that North County community to retain that asset and start these programs in the middle of next summer for kids and youth in North County and beyond. It's might have known, it really is.
It is already underway. You already started construction about a year ago, if I recall, and I think you have a soft opening that is planned this coming summer. Isn't that correct?
Exactly, Tom. We and Mother Nature is going to have a contribution in this over the next probably 14 to 30 days. But we're pushing to get as many holes as we can get completed by the end of this year, which will then allow us to have at least 9 holes for our programmatic initiatives starting, whenever that growing looks good. If we have a mild winter and a good spring, that it could be in May. If we have a little tougher winter, then it might be early June. But, that's what we promised our donors, and we're going to have programs there. We'll be operating out of a trailer, of course, because we won't have the clubhouse built. But the thing is, we will be impacting the lives of those youth in North County and beyond, and that's what this is all about.
Because golf can bring people together, and you are giving people opportunities to not only expand what they can do physically, but also expand their mind. If you could describe these 4 pillars: youth empowerment, technology and education, community engagement, and support for heroes. Kind of speak for themselves, but if you could put it into words, Tom O'Toole, what you are trying to accomplish here for the St. Louis area and beyond.
It's trying to have a venue, a place where all these great philanthropic initiatives, like the First Tee of Greater St. Louis, which will this will be their flagship programmatic location, and the Evans Scholars, which gives college scholarships to young boys and girls in our community to have the opportunity to have a college education. Obviously, tech and STEM are important educational pieces for youth as we prepare for the next level of their lives. So we want to take all the programs that are already existing and have them a place to go so they can implement those talents and those that they're delivering to our youth and change their lives. So we don't have the programs as much as we want to have the venue for them to be there. And then the other piece, Tom, really is the community asset retention. Chris Schreiber from Beyond Housing, our community development partner, once told me that if you lose a community asset, you'll never get it back. This asset was on the brink of loss. The dilapidation and rundown of the golf course, the lack of attention it had for the better really part of the years, was on the brink. We brought that back. We're going to retain this asset for who? For the community. This isn't the Metropolitan Golf Association. It's not our 501c philanthropic foundation, the Metropolitan Golf Foundation. It's not Tom O'Toole. It's for the community. And that's the beauty of it. They can be proud of something that's been there since 1901, and they get the all bills.
Tom O'Toole is with us, and this is a Jack Nicklaus signature design public course. It is going to be a facility that I think St. Louis will be very proud of, and we are a golf city. I mean, we're a golf town. Look no further than what's coming to Belle Reve next year. It just so happens that the timing of this also aligns with the Western Golf Association bringing in the BMW Championship, Tom. I mean, what a year that's going to be. And then on the horizon, the President's Cup at Belle Reve.
Right, and look what people's doing for golf in the PGA Tour champions. So you're right. I mean, we are a golf city, and we need to continue. But let's introduce the game to those who otherwise might not have been initiated enough or privileged enough to get to it, to have those things that you learn and are taught in golf to redirect their lives. That's the strategy. That's the second part of the strategy, to have these programs that expose people to this game, that create things like integrity and sportsmanship and self-policing. Those are life skills that we can apply well past our golf experiences or even our golf involvement. So that's the hope. You're right. The Jack Nicklaus, let's not lose sight of a couple of things here this morning. Number one, Jack Nicklaus is 85 years old. He's designed over 400 courses. He doesn't need to come and do this. Obviously, he waived a substantial fee because he believed in the mission, he believed in the business. That's important. This project changed the first time, and I was able to convince Jack to come on board. I bet you could listen to your listeners. There's many golf courses that were built by Jack Nicklaus where he appeared maybe once or twice, and his staff did the construction and built it. He's been here 5 times, coming back in December. He's committed to this project. That's a game changer. The second thing is, the fact that Lyle Karstenbach and the Emerson board, I guess, had the vision or saw necessary to support this project in this magnitude is, again, it's mighty mill. So without those two guys, I'm good chance I'm still working us along in North County trying to pull this off. We're unbelievably grateful and indebted to both.
A $7 million commitment from Emerson to Normandy Reimagined. The project can be found at Normandy, which is with an IE, reimagined.com, normandyreimagined.com to learn more. And what a great announcement and great visit. I always love catching up with you. We get to see each other from time to time. Not often we get to chat on KMOX, and I assure you it won't be the last.
Tommy, thanks for being our advocate. You're the largest voice in the region. And disseminate this story to your listeners is important because we're still raising money to build the rest of the project. It changed last Wednesday thanks to Lal and the Emerson board.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom O'Toole Jr. with us on KMOX. We will take a break when we come back. Chaim Bloom, Cardinals president of baseball operations, live on Sports on a Sunday morning.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he uses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. And they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They're in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times. We haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Get
ready, Missouri. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to homers to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Plus, with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game is started, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sports app. Must be 21 and over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. And joining us is Dr. Rohina Pani.
Slightly higher, I would say, trend towards men, likely related to the lifestyle risk factors like smoking. But once you have diagnosed a patient with pancreatic cancer, the treatment options and the response to treatment is very similar for both genders.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
It is 11:31, and it is our time to visit with Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, Chaim Bloom. Always a pleasure, Chaim. Thank you for doing this.
You bet. Good morning.
Good morning. How was Vegas, the GM meetings? I understand you were a popular man, not only because of all the possibilities out there this offseason for the Cardinals and others, but your first one as an executive in a little while. I'm sure it was nice to catch up with everybody.
Yeah, I guess it's always nice to be popular. It's a fun time of year in that, like we've talked about, it's kind of the unofficial kickoff to the off season. And for an industry where a lot of the people are in different places and scattered around the country, it's fun to get everybody together. You get to see a lot of your peers, see a lot of your friends, and start talking shop.
Yeah, and talking shop is certainly what the GM meetings are all about, right? Let's start there. Is that just to lay it out for everybody? You're at a hotel in Las Vegas. In this case, it was the Cosmopolitan, and it's an opportunity for everybody to visit. There are no expectations that fireworks are going to happen this early in the offseason at the GM meetings.
Yeah, that's accurate. It really serves two purposes. One, like you talked about, gets the industry together. Every team sends a delegation, not their entire front office, but some sort of delegation just to connect with each other. Some of it's social and some of it you talk business. And also Major League Baseball sends a number of their people. It's their chance to get all the baseball operations departments together to talk about things related to the industry and things that we might need to know, whether it has to do with rules, whether it has to do with business issues. So it serves all those purposes, but really the part that we probably spend the most time focusing on is the conversations with other teams. And you have plenty of agents there who want to start off-season conversations about their players. And of course, plenty of our friends in the media.
Yeah, absolutely. You have free agency that is underway, and you also have the trade market is out there. And that's what I understand is that a lot of teams probably look at the Cardinals and say, there are possibilities for us. There are players who make a lot of money. There are players that don't make a lot of money. There are players that have no trade clauses. There are players that don't. You offer a lot to teams out there. Number one target for you, again, is pitching. I guess my question, when you look at what you have to offer, the word we used for so many years was logjam. This team has a logjam at this position or that position. The word that I hear over the last couple of years is more redundancy, that you try to clear your roster of that. Do you look at it that way, that you're trying to sort out and organize this roster in a better way?
There can be times when you look at it that way. On one hand, you can never have too much of a good thing. And so if you have more talented players than spots, that's not a bad thing, but it might also mean that you're not optimizing your roster, and there might be a chance to align that talent in a different way that can help you win more games both now and down the road. So for sure, you look at it like that, but it's better to have too much of something than too little of it. So, it's not really something that you look at as a problem, just maybe an opportunity to find some way to improve your roster.
And also looking at what you have coming too, is you want to clear pathways for some of your higher rated prospects to succeed? Does that become a factor when you start to visit in terms of trade talks?
You never want anybody to be blocked. You never want anybody to be ready to help you, able to improve your team and not have a pathway to do so. There is a balance there because you also don't want to be in a position where you have to push guys into the fire before they really should be there and you shortcut that development process. Usually when that happens, you end up paying for it, either then or down the road. So there is a balance to maintaining enough depth that guys can develop at the pace that they need to develop, but also that they have a lane to impact you when they're ready to do that.
When we talked last week before you embarked on these meetings, we discussed pitching. We actually did that the last couple of weeks, and there were two different ways to look at it. Via trade, you could try to acquire some young, more controllable pitchers. Of course, that comes at a cost. And when it came to free agency, if I remember correctly, you kind of looked at pitchers perhaps that could find an opportunity here in St. Louis to light their career back up, to get a spark, to find something that maybe rediscovered could launch them into the next part of their career. Did that come to fruition? Was that aligned with what you sort of heard, conversations that you had while you were there?
We've talked about all that. And I should add, just because we're focused on pitching does not mean we're going to walk past opportunities to get potential core players on the offensive side of the ball. We obviously want to make sure we're doing anything we can to grow our long-term core. But yeah, all those guys could fit. And, it's kind of the holy grail for 30 clubs in a sense, is to be able to find somebody that you can make better, whose career you can really enhance, and who can be a big part of your club going forward if you're able to get him somewhere that maybe his last stop didn't. Every club takes pride in trying to do that and in trying to circle the guys that can help you do that. I think as time has gone on, obviously the industry has really ramped up how it looks at those players. And so you're rarely the only one on a player. Usually if you see something that can blossom into something bigger, you're not the only team that sees that, but you might be the team that has a better opportunity, or you might, for whatever reason, be the place that player thinks is best suited to him to go take that next step in his career. So we try to put our best foot forward as we start having those discussions more intently as the off season goes on, and just try to find the right match.
Because 2027 status is up in the air because of a potential stoppage, does that matter? Does that play a factor here?
You don't want to overthink that, because the truth is, anytime you get near the expiration of a CBA, there's going to be a new agreement. You never know exactly what that's going to look like. You just want to make sure you're in position that whatever it does look like, you can be nimble enough to adjust to it, to take advantage of the opportunities that are there within it. Obviously, things can always change, but that's always the case in our business. There's always uncertainty around what the future looks like. That's part of what makes it fun, is that nobody has a crystal ball. So we all try to do the best we can. And if you overthink that to the point where you're not just looking for talent, you may end up regretting that.
Chaim Bloom is with us, and you mentioned the offensive side as well. I know the answer to this is probably you're looking everywhere for anything that can improve the club, I'm sure. But I'll be honest. I mean, I'm watching the postseason, and I'm seeing teams hit the ball out of the ballpark and change games with this one swing of the bat. And I looked at the Cardinals roster, and I thought, I don't know who does that right now. And so my question to you is power. Where do you see it at the moment? And is that something that you covet right now for 26 and beyond?
It's just a fact, like you said, that we didn't do that much in 2025. And look, it is important, I think, to be a complete player and to be a complete hitter. Not every situation, not every pitch calls for trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And if you can't do some of those little things well, if you can't be a hitter first, you'll be too exploitable to get to your power. But that said, in today's game, with as nasty as pitchers are, as infrequent as contact is becoming, you better make that contact count when you do get it. And you better be able to take advantage of those good counts when it's a good time to try and drive the baseball. So it's certainly something that we look to do. It is a big part of today's game. I think there's some guys on our roster who have a chance to do more and more of that as time goes on. But obviously something that you look at out in the market. It's tough in a sense to go ask a player to hit for power without expecting him to have a good foundation as a hitter. You'd like guys to get to that more naturally. The game's just too hard to assume that if you're swinging for the fences on every pitch, that's what you're going to get. It usually comes better from a sound approach and from being able to work a count and get into an advantage count where a pitcher has to give you something that you can drive.
Last thing before we go, this time always goes so fast. I never have enough time, but I'm really, really interested in how the information is used by your front office to evaluate. I'm interested in how the scouting will look from top to bottom. The front office, I know you're going to unveil all of this, but can you give us a window into sort of how you're rearranging the look of the organization from that standpoint, evaluating players, the ones that you have, but the ones that you're trying to go find, or in terms of the opposition, just the way the Cardinals are reimagining how they look from that standpoint?
Yeah, this is always something that you want to try to evolve and move forward. Definitely having come into this organization pretty recently, it's something where I see some opportunity just to build a more robust process around how we do that. What it really comes down to is everything you just described, whether it's information from our scouts, whether it's statistical information, whether it's medical, whether it's makeup, you name it. It's all information. It all has some bearing on our evaluation on the decisions we make. But it's important to use that information in the right way, use it in the right proportion, make sure you are using the right information to answer the questions that you have, and to be able to dig deeper on any particular player. What do we feel we have a good handle on? Where do we feel we need more information? What specific questions loom as we look at a player and try to break down not just who he is, but who he can be? So building a process that allows you to do that systematically across every player, whether it's your own player, whether it's players you might acquire, whether it's a guy who's in the big leagues or a guy who's in the Dominican Summer League, that's really where we have opportunity to build this out. And the better you can do that, the better you're going to be able to make decisions on those players. Again, whether it's your own player or whether there's players you have a chance to acquire. That's really behind the curtain where a lot of the competition is between teams. We're all trying to make better assessments. And you've seen teams spend more and more time on building a good process to do that. This is something where you go back 20 years, the Cardinals really emerged as leaders in being able to do that and having a good process to combine all the information they had, regardless of who was supplying it or where it was coming from. If it's good information, we want to use it well. And the competition in the industry to do that is so intense. Because this is a space where we can step up, we can improve our process and try to retake that advantage, because it's just fundamental to making really good decisions and getting better players.
It's a new way to look at it. Chaim Bloom, the Cardinals president of baseball operations, with us on KMOX. Thank you for the time. We love these Sundays, and we'll catch up with you next Sunday.
You got it. Enjoyed it.
Good to visit with you. When we come back, Bernie Miklasz talks sports with us. It's Sports on a Sunday Morning from the Stifel Sports Studio.
Do you like the word thorough? It's a good word, thorough. It means complete, accurate, detailed. Well, when you go to Ophthalmology Associates, you will get a thorough eye examination. The technology is incredible. It's all up to date, the very latest. And Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer and their staff will make your visit very personal. That's because they believe every patient is unique. Ophthalmology Associates takes all the research and technology and their personal knowledge and expertise and tailor it into an eye care plan that is as unique as you are. Services include everything from expert treatment of cataracts and retinas to comprehensive eye exams for you and the kids, and a full-service optical shop with a ton of frames to choose from. Ophthalmology Associates, 3 St. Louis area locations. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Help KMOX make the holiday season brighter for St. Louis area children by supporting TSO Tuesdays, benefiting Sightman kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. On Tuesdays, Sugar Fire will donate a portion of their TSO Tuesday special to Sightman kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. And don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Get your tickets today for this holiday tradition. All you need to know at KMOX.com.
Over here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan.
Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Love visiting with Chaim Bloom. That was always is a treat. It's 8 minutes on the clock for Bernie Miklasz. And you know what? We love the fact that we have so many sponsors. That's what pays the bills, my man. So this is a good thing. Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, bringing in Bernie Miklasz. Bernie, let me start with the bad first, and then we'll get into some other stuff.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I am just I'm just so bummed out about the Blues, and I don't want to I don't want it to ruin everybody's day, but they are terrible. I mean, they're just not good. You cannot tell me that this Blues team is suddenly going to flip a switch and be a playoff team based on what I see.
You know, when they did that last year, it was understandable because, you know, with all due respect, I don't think Drew Bannister was the coach that was going to get them out of a rut last year. And Jim Montgomery did. And Jim Montgomery has got one of the best regular season winning percentages by a coach in the history of the NHL. So when Monty engineered that pretty dramatic turnaround last season after a poor start, you could see, okay, yeah, that's him. He's a really excellent coach. Well, Monty's the coach now, and it's like they can't bring in another Monty to turn it around because he's already here. So it really is kind of an indictment of this roster and the number of players that just aren't doing enough and are not playing up to their capability. And it starts with goaltending, but that's not the only problem. There's all kinds of issues. I think it's just a lot of it is just, again, underachievement by players that you're paying a lot of money to who are better than they're showing, and they need to be much better than they've been showing.
I hope the players hear it. I mean, I hope they hear the criticism. I hope it gets to them, and something's got to light them up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Now, let me move into coaching in terms of football. Eli Drinkwitz stomps Mississippi State 49-27, 300 yards for Ahmad Hardy. My question is this. I want to advance it to this topic because it is a topic. Is Eli Drinkwitz going to be coaching elsewhere, or is he going to be at Missouri for the foreseeable future? You don't have a crystal ball, But
Right.
when you start to look at these vacancies, do you think Drink is really a candidate, or do you think he stays back in Columbia?
If I had to bet a couple bucks, I'd say he stays. But am I confident in that? No. Um, it all depends on what he values. If he doesn't think he can get Mizzou to be a playoff caliber team or a national championship caliber team, that he's got to go to a much larger platform, a more historically prominent platform to attain that, then he would be inclined to go. Would that be Penn State? Would that be Florida if Kiffin doesn't go there? Would it be LSU? And Drink is, when I say crazy, I mean this as a compliment. Drink is actually crazy enough to where he would be ideal for craziness down in LSU, right? So it just all depends what he's looking for. And here's the one thing though, man. As far as getting 100% support from administration, 100% support from Jefferson City, 100% support from the big money people behind the program, the AL, all that stuff, facilities. I need that. Boom, they do it. I need this. Boom, they do it. I could really use this. You got it. How many plays is he going to find to where his wish is their command? They're going to do whatever he wants and whatever they will do whatever he feels he needs. And he's got 100% of everyone behind him. He doesn't even have to answer to the athletic director. Technically, he reports right to the university president. So, it's like you've gotten this program up to a really impressive level the last 3 years, really impressive level. There's been a couple setbacks. But this idea that you can't make the playoff, I would push back on that because, listen, if you make a couple more plays against Alabama, you make a couple more plays against Vanderbilt, and you keep, your first two quarterbacks healthy. Yeah, I think this is a playoff team. This would have been a playoff team this year. It's not like Mizzou in their setbacks and the games they had to win. It's not like they were getting destroyed. Yeah, I mean, Texas A&M did it, but the circumstances were unusual. So I think they can still achieve the goals and the dreams that he would like to get this program to, especially if they expand to a 16-team playoff, which doesn't look like it's going to happen in the next round of expansion, but it's going to happen soon enough.
Yeah, I hope it does at some point. I really do, actually. I think it'd be nice to have even a bigger tournament. We have 3 minutes on the clock, so let me wrap with this.
Okay,
and that is the winter meetings are coming. The GM meetings are complete. Have you changed any thoughts on how the Cardinals are going to go about this, and who are the most likely candidates to be traded to acquire pitching in your mind?
I would say Brendan Donovan, number one. I would say Sonny Gray, as long as he consents, obviously, with the no trade. I do believe Arenado will be traded. But that's in a separate category because you're not going to get anything in return, not much anyway. You will with Gray and you will with Donovan. So I would put him in that order. I don't get a sense Wilson Contreras wants to go anywhere. So I think they'd be very silly to trade Burleson. I think they'd be silly to trade Herrera. I do think there's a couple guys you can build around. So that's how, and I think Pahey is going to get traded. But that's a separate category. But that's how I'd rank it based on your request there.
Yeah, I think so. And then your acquire, we got about a minute or so, but you're looking at pitching. Young, controllable pitching would be ideal, but you could grab a couple of guys that maybe want to resurrect their careers.
There's no doubt about it. I think Chaim Bloom and his people, the guys that he's hired, I think they qualify as turnaround specialists. They spot things in guys that can make them much better. And I think that there will be a number of candidates like that where they see something that maybe a lot of other teams don't see. So, yeah, a cost controllable guy plus one guy that has done it in the past. Maybe he's towards the end of his career, but you can get a good year out of him just by fixing a couple things.
Yep. Your incumbents right now, Gray, Palante, McGreevy, Liberator. Certainly looks like McGreevy, Liberator would be in there. Not sure about the first two. And then Kyle Leahy's got a shot to be in this rotation as well, but you can never have enough pitching. I mean, give me all the candidates. Battle it out. Duke it out. Let's go.
I did it. I'll be real quick. I did a deep dive on Leahy this past week, and I am convinced he can be a good starting pitcher. He's got 5 pitches that are above average. How many major league starting pitchers can say that, right?
Yeah, he's tough.
I mean, and he is tough. And you know, when he pitched 2 innings or more this past season, he did that 20 times. You know what his ERA was? 1.01.
That's what I'm talking about. Bernie Miklasz,
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Have an
right,
awesome
brother.
Sunday, buddy.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Good show today. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stifel Sports Studio.
All right, you pick them. You don't have to take